My parents said no children were allowed at the Christmas party, including my son, but when I got to their house, I saw my sister's 3 kids there. They told me those children deserved to be there. So I told them I would no longer be supporting them. Homework, Dakota honey, she started in that sugary sweet voice that always spelled trouble. About Christmas Eve, we're having an adults-only party this year, no children. The pencil in my hand snapped. But we just want something more sophisticated, she continued casually. Why an adult conversation, you know? But it's Christmas, I protested. What am I supposed to do with Tommy? Oh, that's easy, she replied dismissively. Leave him with Sarah and Jim. They'd love to have him come by around 7 after the call. I looked at Tommy, who was completely oblivious, still focused on his math. My heart broke. He had just been uninvited from his own family's Christmas. I spent the next week agonizing over what to do. The idea of going without Tommy felt wrong, but skipping it entirely seemed too dramatic. I decided on a compromise. I'd drop Tommy off with Sarah and Jim, make a brief appearance at my parents' house, and then go back to celebrate properly with my real family on Christmas Eve. I pulled up to my parents' house. Alone, the driveway was packed with cars. As I walked to the door, I could hear laughter and music. I opened it and my world tilted. The house was full of relatives, but that's not what made me freeze. Running through the living room were Rachel's 3 kids. Near the tree, my cousin's children were grabbing cookies. More kids were everywhere. The room felt hot, suffocating. My gift bag hung limply from my hand. This wasn't an adults-only party, it was a party where my son was the only child not welcome. I stood frozen in the doorway, my mind racing. My Aunt Marie rushed over. Dakota, sweetheart, where's little Tommy? Don't tell me he's sick on Christmas Eve. Before I could respond, my cousin Peter chimed in. Yeah, where's our favorite little scientist? Everyone was asking where Tommy was, and each question felt like a twisting knife. I spotted my mother in the kitchen arranging a platter of cookies as if nothing was wrong. Excuse me, I managed, pushing through the crowd. Mom, I said, my voice low and tight, can we talk in the hallway? I confronted her. You told me this was an adults-only party, specifically told me not to bring Tommy. Why are Rachel's kids here? Why is every other child in the family here? She straightened her sweater, avoiding my gaze. Well, that's different how those children, she said, gesturing vaguely, know how to behave at formal gatherings. They're well-mannered. Stared at her incredulous. Tommy is one of the most polite kids I know. Oh, Sarah and Jim, she interrupted, rolling her eyes. They spoil him, they encourage all those questions. The other children deserve to be here more, they know their place. Just then a crash came from the dining room. Rachel's youngest was throwing DLL'd eggs at his sister, who shrieked as they splattered all over her new dress. I turned back to my mother and raised an eyebrow. Yes, I can see their superior manners on full display. Her face hardened. That's just kids being kids, but when Tommy asks how things work, it's a problem. Don't be so dramatic, Dakota. He's fine with Sarah and Jim. I'm leaving, I announced, turning for the door. I'm going to be with my son. My mom just shrugged, examining her manicure. Fine, make a scene, but leave the presents under the tree first. Something inside me snapped. I walked into the middle of the living room and cleared my throat loudly. The room went silent. Several of you have asked why Tommy isn't here tonight, I began, my voice steady. I'm here alone because my mother called me a week ago and said this was an adults-only party. I was specifically told not to bring him. What Aunt Marie said, we didn't know anything about a ban on children. My uncle added. My mom stepped. Oh, I think this is the perfect time. I shot back because there wasn't a ban on all children, there was a ban on one child. My child, the son, who apparently isn't good enough for this family's Christmas. The room erupted in murmurs, but that's not even the best part. One laughed without humor. While my son isn't good enough to be here, I'm apparently good enough to send my parents $1,000 a month, and Rachel here sends them $500. Rachel's husband Jack looked stunned. What, $500? The color drained from Rachel's face. You're sending them money every month from where we can barely cover our own bills. Rachel's composure finally broke. I never actually sent any money, she stammered. Mom and Dad told me to say I was so Dakota would agree to help them out too. The silence was deafening as my relatives pieced together the deception. You scammed your own daughter. Aunt Caroline's voice was sharp as glass, using her like an ATM. While you kick her kid out of Christmas, that's low even for you. The room exploded.